So, we know that adulting is hard, but I'm pretty sure everybody is able to count in single-digit numbers.
Math.
That makes this episode number 4. For all of you who have stuck by our side and listened to it, yes, we are on number 4. Craziness.
Yeah.
Craziness. So, we do want to say real quick that we apologize for not getting our last episode out, or episode 4 out last weekend. But,
holiday weekend.
Yeah, it was holiday. It was Easter on Sunday, which happy Easter to everybody. But we just moved into our brand new studio. Thank you to all of our sponsors out there who made this possible. This place is fucking badass.
It is.
It's pretty awesome. But the
it's
only
even got
reason,
a game room.
Yeah. The reason we had to move, though, the dirty little seekers, the goddamn North Koreans found us.
Yep.
You leave it up to those hackers.
They tracked us, and they learned a lesson. So I think they'll go back and reevaluate whether or not they want to try and get us again.
I wonder if Kim Jong-un's going to let them live after that.
He'll shoot them with anti-aircraft guns or whatever he's known for.
That's how they did his uncle, right?
Yeah, that was a rumor. They fed him to wild dogs or something, and there was a few things, but
that was it for them.
Mm-hmm.
But we just want to real quick tell you that we are extremely thankful, extremely grateful for all of our listeners out there. We have surpassed 66,000 listens to our podcast. That is
an amazing number.
That is incredible. So thank you so much for that. We also have over 5,000 subscriptions to our podcast.
Another amazing number.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then also on top of that, we have 1.5 thousand likes on our page.
Yes.
So
it's all about the likes, right? Isn't that how we validate ourselves nowadays?
We were not expecting this whatsoever. We kind of, as we had said in previous podcasts, that we kind of went into this just kind of bullshitting and just trying to have a good time and whatever. And then all of a sudden, 3 episodes in, we have sponsors who are paying for a new recording studio. We're getting new equipment. I mean, we got the new computer. We got the new microphones. We got the new mixer. We got the new software. I mean, we got the new recording studio just on top of that is fucking legit, man.
Yeah, it's huge, and we got a mini fridge.
Yeah, we got a mini fridge and a TV and a Nintendo Switch, but everything's going real great. But as of today, actually just about an hour ago, our governor announced that they are extending the quarantine.
The stay-at-home order, and like I said, I think everyone else is following suit. The other even the lower 48 and Alaska and Hawaii have all done the same. And even actually New York just announced a minute ago that they're going to legally require masks be worn outside by everybody.
Are they going to charge people?
Yep.
Like tickets and stuff?
You got it. You could probably get it. There they have the broken window policy is what they call it. And so they could probably charge you with a felony of endangerment of the public or something. I would not play games with that shit.
Yeah,
and not in that state.
Well, New York's a little crazy to begin with, so I wouldn't put it past them that they would do this.
And they're pretty hardcore, and they got hit hard, and so I can see why they would.
Yeah, they did.
And so, it looks like we've got a couple more weeks of this, and hopefully it will.
Hopefully I go back to work, because I am officially at 4 weeks of being furloughed from my job. But I think my job, honestly, might be one of the last ones to come back. It's elective surgery. We deal with a lot of older people. And, those are the people at risk the most right now.
I think it'll be your employer will be a lot more careful about just reopening the doors.
Yeah, there's going to be some kind of regulation to do it. It's probably going to be like a soft opening kind of thing, doing very few people, lots of precautions being taken, at least for the first couple months.
And I got a feeling if it comes to it and they reopen the country basically, and businesses are allowed to reopen, and then we see a spike again in cases, and then they try to tell us to shut it back down again, there's going to be quite a bit of there's going to be a lot of resistance.
I'm just waiting for the first zombie to come around.
Yes.
I will be severely disappointed if there's no zombies after this.
Gas station sushi. I always thought it would be that.
But I always thought it would be the bath salts.
Bath salts.
But as we can see with Florida, that I guess bath salts kind of turn you into a zombie, but
it wears off.
It's
not a permanent thing.
It's not a permanent thing, unfortunately. That reminds me, they had that interview. Did you see it with the spring breaker down in Florida? This guy goes up to this girl who's obviously drinking, and he was asking her a question. I can't remember exactly what the question was, but he's like, how many times have you had sex or something like that? And she goes, 1. And he's like, why is your voice so hoarse? And she goes, oh, I got the coronavirus. Yeah, you might want to wipe down that microphone when you're done. And the camera pans over to his face, and he's just got this deadpan face, like what the fuck?
Yep.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of people we're dealing with.
Well, that's the thing. People who
are just not taking it seriously.
You could have 10 people in front of you. You give them a direct order with specific requirements for what they're supposed to do. Someone's going to break ranks from it. And now we're talking about millions and billions of people. We're trying to tell them to do something, and they're just going to break ranks. And so either this thing goes away of its own accord, dies off, returns next year, whatever it may be, or it gets worse.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing repercussions everywhere from small businesses suffering severely. People, the highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression.
Was expected.
We expected a lot of this stuff, but nobody could have planned for this. As much as you kind of think you were planned for this, nobody was. And make sure you check your bank accounts because they are sending out those stimulus checks. I got mine 2 days ago. I know Ken got his today. So at least those are rolling out and providing a little bit of cushion for some people.
For some folks, I hope. And unfortunately, even if the option is out there to furlough payments on things like that, my advice would be if you can, pay it.
Right.
You don't hoard the cash, because what's going to happen is you're just going to have to pay out a substantial amount of money down the road.
Yeah, because it's not like the payment just doesn't exist anymore.
They're not saying we're forgiving payments for 3 months.
They're just not going to charge you a fee, but you still owe that money. So you're going to push it back, and all of a sudden you got 3 payments all right next to each other.
Yeah, and then with evictions being basically illegal, there are going to be those clowns who have the money to pay, who won't pay, and be like, evict me. You can't. Unfortunately, they're going to make it hell on the landlord. And I've been paying mine on time because I can. And I think it's the right thing to do because
Well, we're going to see repercussions in more than one way.
Oh.
One of those things is, landlords are going to be pressed for money too because their tenants can't pay the money because they don't have a job.
The mortgage industry is going to get hit so hard with this. And it's going to need another bailout, which should be part of this stimulus package. They're going to need a second bailout.
It's almost daunting to think about what's going to be required just to get our economy back on track because our economy is kind of fucked at this point.
Oh, it's bad.
It's real bad. And the question really is, how long is it going to take for us to get back to normal? Probably years.
I read something earlier that it would take until possibly 2022 before we're actually back to what we consider normal economically.
That's if we ended it today.
Mm-hmm. That's if this doesn't extend through summer.
Because the ratio is not 1 for 1. Like you take a month off and it's going to take a month for recovery. No, it's like you extend this for a month and all of a sudden now it extends the slump of the economy for another half a year.
Mm-hmm. So and how much more stimulus or what do you want to call unemployment on steroids like they're doing for folks?
It's unbelievable.
Because some people won't be able to reopen. I've seen people posting that after thinking about it, they're just not going to reopen their business. They can't.
They can't afford to.
Yeah, even if with the money, they've lost everything. And then I even saw one company in Oregon. It's a brewery. They said that the loans that they were given or they were offered are terrible for businesses. They went in and applied, assuming that it would take up to 8 weeks, right, before. So around the time to reopen the brewery, they went from 40 employees to 4. And 3 days later, they told the loan's closed. Here's $250,000. But you have to use this by the end of June for businesses to have the full forgiveness. So, and they're like, well, we can't bring people back if we're not moving product.
Right.
So what do we do? Pay everybody $200 an hour to sit around and sweep?
Yeah.
I highly doubt they're going to count that. Home. So now they're sitting with another $250,000 in debt.
Yeah.
Because they said the bank was told that they were told to close it by a certain period of time after the application.
Yeah.
So be careful on the timing. If you are a small business and you go to apply for this.
Outside of the business area too, they're also taking extreme measures such as releasing people from prison. Mm-hmm. People probably shouldn't be on. Yeah. How'd that go for that? What was that article you just read today?
I want to say it was in one of the Carolinas. and the guy was released from like your local county hold on heroin charges, and he was out 24 hours later. He committed murder. So that's one case so far. Now, does that mean that anybody of a low-level crime is going to do that? Because like if you're in New York, and people don't understand, like the town we're in, or even California, county jail is kind of just county jail. But in New York, when you're charged with a crime, you go to Rikers. Okay, there's not like a county jail holding place. You go to fucking Rikers, which is gladiator camp for anybody. So you could be in there for a shoplifting charge in fucking Rikers.
Yeah.
Right? So that
sitting in there with
people, mass murders, fucking serial killers for all you know. You know what I mean?
Gangbangers, yeah.
And shit like that. So it's we'll see how this goes. I mean, there's gonna be so many long-term effects that we probably won't even. People will specialize in this. I feel people will come around and specialize in the turnaround effect, the psychological effect, because I know there's pockets of resistance now to what's going on. That people are coming out and saying, you know what, we don't care if you say stay at home. We're gonna get together. Churches specifically have been doing this, and one of the pastors who first openly denied that order and had gatherings passed away from coronavirus. I'm not going to say the irony in this or anything, but you get what I'm saying. Like just because you're a church, and I understand your faith and your belief, common sense though.
Let's do Zoom conferences for.
Well, one guy did a huge one where everyone was in their cars, and then he was up on stage, but. Again, just common sense. I get your faith, your understanding, whatever it may be, but don't press your luck. I mean, you can AA meetings are online now. NA meetings, stuff like that. Church things, you can do that. You can do it on a telephone call with the best friend and pray and do what you got to do. But common sense, man. And we're seeing a lack of people. At first, we're following the guidelines, and now people are kind of like, fuck it. Because
I don't blame them either.
No.
I really don't.
Because people go, why? You don't tell me to wear a mask during flu season.
Yeah.
But we don't fully understand the COVID-19.
Yeah.
Right?
And I went camping last weekend.
With like 400 people,
before.
Wasn't it?
We had a kegger out there.
Fucking rave party.
No, but it was great. Because there was quite a few people out there. But, I mean, where we were camping, it was quite a distance from anybody who was even close.
Right.
But we were right there on the river, and it was just nice to get out there in the warm weather, the fresh air, the river's right there. So we just did some fishing, we played some games, barbecued, had hot dogs and shit, and just enjoyed being outside and getting away from all this shit because we've been locked up. Yeah. It's hard to get out there and enjoy life when you can't go anywhere. All the shit you like to do is either closed or you think you considered doing, like last year, we were like, next summer we want to do the kayaking and stuff. Right. Maybe not be able to do it. Yeah. That business might be shut down. Or just, for the time being. And going into the stores, the Winco has it down now, but they have 200 shopping carts. Yeah. And if those 200 shopping carts, if there's none available, you can't go in the store until they go back out and collect them, meaning that they've been wiped and sanitized. Yeah, and that means those customers have left the store. But you go to Walmart like we did, and I'm used to people walking around me just because of my size, and I go down the aisle, people go around me, but nobody's. We had that fucking bitch yell at us. Said, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah, 6 feet, and I mean it.
Yeah, I'm not joking here.
But we're allowed to stand in line waiting
next to each other.
But we can't.
But as soon as you approach the counter, you better have 6 feet.
6 feet. Yeah, it was the dumbest shit.
We're together. We're purchasing the same thing. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. And
the people in front of us,
super obese lady.
Yeah, on the fat cart.
On the fat cart.
And her husband
are going around. She tells her the same thing, but she doesn't pay attention. She's like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, exactly, but tells us off, and I was like, whatever, know. But people are, ridiculous. You walk in the grocery store, people, they just walk right by you. Yeah.
But, kind of getting away from this, because, again, we don't want to stick too much on this. We want to keep things light, because that's what our podcast is all about.
But just stay safe, folks. Wash your hands.
Please, yes, follow the guidelines. As much as it sucks, let's all do our part. Let's keep the social distancing. Just do what you're told at this point, and we're going to move forward. We will get through this all together. So let's just get it done. You know, but for this episode, we have a great episode coming up for you guys. As we had said before, that we're going to try to get you 2 2 interviews per episode,
Yep.
unless the episode turns out to be like a true crime episode, which episode 6, we are planning to do another true crime.
Yes.
So you want to stay tuned and listen for the details we may or may not drop for you on that, because we're not going to tell you what it is till the actual episode comes out.
We got a Twitch channel now.
We are on all the major platforms now,
Yeah.
including YouTube. So you can go on and find us on YouTube now. Just type in Adulting is Hard. Look for that skeleton with the Adulting is Hard logo on there. We are also on Instagram at AIH_podcast. You can find us there as well. And then we are also, another big piece of news that we're doing is we are starting a Twitch channel.
Yes.
And so for Twitch channel, it's not going to be the same as the podcast. It's only going to be about an hour, maybe a little bit less, where we're just kind of sitting down. We'll have the webcams on so you can see us. We'll give you a little tour of what's going on here, with our basement, nondescript basement.
And we may end up doing a live broadcast on there one of these times of the podcast. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that. It's really just geared towards talking with you guys, conversing, getting some feedback, and kind of giving you updates to what's going on here.
Maybe things that they want to hear on the show.
Yeah, whatever. It's kind of just going to be a very casual conversation.
Yeah.
Episode. So be sure to check that out. We will be notifying you. So go to Twitch right now, and I think our channel is live. We don't have anything up, but our channel is live, so you can click the like,
the follow button.
The follow button,
yeah.
The follow button, so it will notify you
and
when
it
we
is
do go
AIH
podcast.
Podcast, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't underscore it or anything. It's just AIH podcast.
Yeah. But you'll find us again. Just look for that skeleton guy with our logo on there.
Actually, the image I put on there was, if you look at it, looks like a crotch. You know what I'm talking about?
I did see that. Yeah, what the fuck is that?
If you look at it large, it's a big wall with a broom against it. But when you minimize it from a distance,
I was like, this is the most strange fucking picture.
It looks like a hairy vag.
We're gonna have to change to like a picture of our face.
We're gonna have to. I just did that to put something in there, and I'm pretty sure I'll get a notification from Twitch or something about it. But whatever. And the
last update we do want to give to you is that we are having a brand new shiny website coming out pretty soon. You can go on there. You can check out all our previous podcasts. You can hit any of the likes. It'll take you right to our platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and whatever else I'm missing. Acast, Spotify, SoundCloud. It'll have all those.
You name it, we'll be on it.
You can also sign up for a membership there, which will get you access to exclusive videos for us and additional content that's not going to be featured on the podcast.
Maybe a one-on-one conversation.
And maybe even a picture of Ken's butthole.
No, that's not OnlyFans. It's OnlyFans.
Well, no, I mean, what if they pay you an extra $5?
Okay. I was thinking less, but $5 would be great. Right? I'll show you my chocolate starfish.
Exactly. So be sure to stay tuned, and we will drop some information on that coming. So we hope to have that out fairly soon, within a month or so.
Maybe sooner if this keeps going. We got nothing but time.
Right.
I mean, literally, you travel farther than anything to get over here.
Yeah.
To this basement that we're hiding in.
We're not going to say where.
Where? Somewhere in the continental United States. I thought we put it in Idaho. I was going to say somewhere in the United States.
Somewhere in the United States. Confine us, North Koreans.
Yeah, I dare you.
You dirty bastards.
I'm prepared this time.
But on this episode, we are interviewing 2 people. The first one is going to be with Chris Lewis. He is an ESPN analyst and a play-by-play sports caller on the collegiate and Olympics levels.
Great guy.
Yeah, and he claimed to catch a fish while we were talking to him. Have yet to see the evidence for that. So, Chris, if you're listening, you better send us a picture or put it on Twitter.
Yeah,
just so we know you aren't lying.
Even if it's a tiny fish, at least let us know there was something on the line.
I mean, no Photoshops.
Yeah, no photo.
It's got to be real.
I don't want to see a megalodon.
And our second interview is with Bob Ficarra. He is the owner of Metro Entertainment, which is an online, basically warehouse. He does comic books and games, board games, action figures, all that stuff. We have a good conversation with him about how this virus is affecting his business. He also gives us recommendations for new comics and games to play, and he also gives out a little information for you people who may have kids and some things that you guys can do and things that you can find on his website.
Yeah, you can order on his website.
He's a great guy. I've known him for way too long, unfortunately.
He probably says the same.
No, he's a great guy, and we had a great interview with him, so be sure to check that out. And then after that, we will have, you guys asked for it in our mailbag. So we are bringing you a special edition of Life Hacks. It is the quarantine life hacks.
Even better ones.
Oh, yeah. These are things that you got to do at your house, away from other people.
Could be a get rich idea. I'm not sure yet. Should we start a pyramid scheme?
I think we should.
Like essential oils and stuff?
But we're at the top, right? Not the base?
Yeah, no, we start at the top and everybody sells the product for us and then the money gets kicked up. That's the idea,
I'm just making sure our placement is set at
or
the
a cult,
top.
which is
tax-free. I don't want to get bought out of my position.
Yeah, I don't want to be at the bottom of the pyramid.
And then finally, we are going to finish off with the Florida Man segment. We got 2 good ones. Because we are not sexist, we are bringing you not only a Florida Man, but a Florida Woman article. Both of them are fucking gold, as always, because Florida Man articles are the best thing on earth, next to fucking Tiger King and that bitch Carol Baskins.
Yep, I blame her for everything.
I think everybody in America can get behind that.
I bet you if you look deep enough, she was the first. She's patient 0 watch.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, they found out she traveled and brought it back. With one of her fucking exotic animals.
So yeah, we do have a great episode coming up for you guys. We are going to take a short little break, and we will be right back with you with the Chris Lewis interview. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, my name is Shayla and I'm Ken's wife. I usually don't let Ken act on any of his ideas because I gotta tell you, they're mostly all terrible and Kyle does not help. But when the idea of this broadcast was brought up to me, I actually laughed harder than I normally do at the idea, but I eventually caved in. Surprisingly, it turned out to be a good idea. If you haven't listened to their other broadcast yet, do yourself a favor and go over to SoundCloud, YouTube, or Spotify and laugh at their immature jokes and terrible life advice. Definitely. You can also find them on Facebook or Twitter at Is Adulting. I promise it'll be worth your time. Give them a like, a follow, a share, because I'm tired of Ken sitting on my couch in his boxers yelling snacks. But seriously, they do appreciate all the support and feedback from you guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of this episode.
All right, guys, welcome back from the break. I hope you had enough time to go take a piss.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Put some hand sanitizer at least.
And then do it again and again and again.
Yeah. Did a little bit of shopping online, Amazon, even though...
Emotional shopping. I don't really need this.
We're emotionally shopping. Kind of like when you bought your TV.
That was an emotional purchase.
I just can't take this right now. I need to buy a TV.
I need another TV in another room.
But on the line, we have Chris Lewis, who is a play-by-play sportscaster, does Olympic sports at collegiate levels. So he covers both men and women's side of the sports. So, Chris, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate the time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chris, can we get like an introduction to you for our listeners out there? Like an introduction to who you are, what you do, and kind of how you got started into this whole thing.
Well, it's always a strange story when a guy from the Philadelphia area ends out in Boise, Idaho, right?
Right.
Yeah,
wow.
Boise, Idaho.
We're not native to this area either.
So it's always an interesting story in itself. But I've been wanting to do the sports broadcasting thing pretty much ever since I was, way before high school, a sports broadcasting camp, because I played basketball growing up and both my parents worked. So it was one of those things where during the summer, they always had me go to camp of some sort because, they weren't home. They didn't want me to stay home by myself. So basketball camps were usually the thing. But one of these weeks there was no basketball camp, so they had to figure out something to do with me. So instead of a basketball camp, there was a sports broadcasting camp, believe it or not.
I've never heard of that.
I think it's great. That's pretty awesome.
Exactly. I didn't know either. That was a while ago, though. And,
did you believe them when they said we're sending you to sports broadcasters camp? You're like, wait,
fat camp, isn't it?
Wait a minute, yeah.
Well, I was like nervous. I'm like, all right, I don't know what to do here. Like,
right?
You know, I'm like 11 or 12 years old.
So 1 second there, Chris. I think there we go. Did we get him back?
Everything that you were. Hello.
Okay, there you are. Okay, yeah, we lost you for a second there. I didn't know if you're playing the old. I'm going into a tunnel.
Nope, I'm in the same spot.
Okay, yeah, that was. I just think it's everybody at home and overloaded the internet. But okay, so let's wind it back. Like you said, you're 11 years old. You're like, I don't know what to do at this camp.
Yeah, it was a blast though. It really was. Got to talk to a bunch of professional sports broadcasters and people who you see on TV when you're 11 years old and whatnot. You think they're
that's pretty awesome.
So larger than life characters, and it was a blast. And ever since that, I was like, all right, if I'm not going to make the NBA, I'll do this sports broadcasting thing a try. And just following the industry, I knew that Syracuse was a place that a lot of people went to become professional sportscasters, especially with play-by-play, because that was the thing I really loved to do, especially in high school. So Syracuse for 4 years, did all the student media stuff there, which makes it one of the better places to go for sportscasting. You really learn pretty quickly why it is so critically acclaimed, because of the competition that's there and the people and how dedicated they are at Syracuse. It only can push you if you really love to do it. If you don't, you get weeded out pretty quick.
That's like a boot camp.
Yeah, exactly. So after 4 years, headed out to Idaho Falls. That was my first job. I got it about a few months before graduation, doing play-by-play for the Idaho Falls Chuckers. And that was great. It was really fun to cover minor league baseball for 2 summers. Get my feet wet in professional sports broadcasting, really. It was everything you could have wanted for a first job. And it was in an area where, there wasn't as many people. It's not a big city, so you can get a lot of reps and have those low-stakes reps, which I think everybody needs when they make that transition. And after the first season in Idaho Falls, the Boise State women's basketball play-by-play job opened. And because I was pretty close, and I knew Bob Beeler, who was still the voice for Boise State men's basketball and football, the number 1 at Boise State. That helped, and it was probably the reason why I ended up getting the women's basketball job. And then after 1 season at Boise State doing women's basketball, went back to Idaho Falls for my second season doing minor league baseball. And during that summer, the radio show job opened in Boise. So that's how I got the radio gig in Boise doing sports talk. And that's what I do now: Olympic sports, women's basketball, all the smaller sports like softball, volleyball, gymnastics.
Everything across the board.
Really? Yeah, as well as filling in for football and basketball on occasion. And host a daily sports talk show from 1 to 3 on KTIK, which is a great gig to have, especially right now when I know it's tough for a lot of people out there, especially in the sports world too, when there's no sports going on.
Oh yeah,
there is at least something from the sports talk point of view to get me going through this time where not a lot of people have a lot going.
And that's what we were going to get into, because we know it affects everybody across the board. This whole thing is unprecedented. Like I said, I'm 45 and I've never seen anything like this, and as individually and as a whole, as a nation, it's going to be some.
Yeah, and speaking of that, what is the state of the collegiate sports world as of right now?
Yeah.
It is rough. It's bizarre. It is extremely bizarre. Wow, I actually caught a fish. I'm out here fishing.
I think that's the greatest thing. That's how you power an interview. I'm just going to fish while I'm doing it.
Live on the podcast, I caught a little tiny fish here thing.
Man of many talents.
Go take a look at this.
Yeah, take a look. Yeah. Remember, Pixar didn't happen. I don't want to hear fish stories. That's the thing. Everyone says they caught that 8-foot albino catfish or whatever.
It ain't that, but it's a victory for sure. I'll tweet it out at Chris Lewis. So
there you go. Yeah.
Post pick. Yep. Post pick.
We'll be watching for that.
We went fishing. We didn't get anything. We saw them jumping out of the water. They didn't come at us. But so you're saying it's just bizarre. Is there anything? There's nothing organized. Right? I work at a local college here at CSI, and it's shut down. It's closed to the public.
Yeah, college sports, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's really low on the list of things right now with the economy in a situation where it is, people losing jobs. people not knowing how they're going to pay the rent the next month. I mean, it's tough across the board, and college sports probably really low on the list of priorities for all the problems for everybody to figure out. But when you work in college sports, it is different. And I know Boise State, for example, they've had to basically, from the athletics department's point of view, they're just reacting. Like, you can't really implement policy. You can't really be the one to set the rules, because it's all having to do with the government and with the situation we're in, where what you say 1 minute might not be the case 10 minutes later. I remember a press conference that Coach Ryan Harsin had for Boise State this past week, where he was talking about maybe we could do this for spring and the timeline could be this for spring football. And then as he was doing that press conference, pretty much at the same time, the Governor Little, was having a press conference,
like, nope.
where he was saying that he was implementing the stay-at-home program, which for 21 days, which changed the timeline that Coach Harsin was talking about.
Oh, you want to make a timeline? Hold my beer.
Yeah.
That's I can't come up with a better example of how athletic departments are just in reaction mode all across the country.
I think everybody is waiting for that trickle of information to come in.
Yeah, it's safety first. It's all about safety first.
Absolutely.
All about safety.
So how are the athletes deal with it, with the students?
Does it affect things like scholarships that they have, or because they don't, I guess, they won't be able to put in the time if a season's canceled? I mean, does that affect things in the long run?
Well, there's a couple of things with that. Number one, the NCAA with spring sports, they're going to try to figure out at least a couple of reports that they're going to see if they can give the people who lost out on their seasons a year of eligibility. And now the math on that and how exactly you're going to make it work from a budget point of view for schools is interesting, because there's no easy way. It's not like schools have all this money laying around for scholarships to give out that they otherwise are just keeping for themselves. Like, schools manage a budget, and they don't have budgeted in a class of scholarships for people when a class is also staying that they expected to leave, So that's something for schools to figure out from, I guess, an individual case, but maybe the NCAA puts in something. Maybe money comes from somewhere else. I have no idea.
Yeah, because you got.
But I know from
Well, what about collegiate athletes getting paid? Well, I know this has been an issue the last year or so.
Yeah, that's a whole nother avenue where I think, and another one of the ripple effects from this, I think that gets put more on the back burner. I know at some points, members of the NCAA were talking about, all right, we might not be as stringent on the image and likeness rules that have been a part of amateurism throughout college athletics for all eternity, it almost seems like.
Still let you sign in that big shoe deal your freshman year.
Yeah, but that might go on the back burner. You never know. I mean, that is low on the list of NCAA issues right now, when beforehand that was maybe near the top of the pile of lists for them to get through. So they'll have to figure that out. I know your original question of how our athletes are dealing with it. I know from the Boise State women's basketball team, because that's the squad I'm closest with. I travel with the team and whatnot. They were so fired up to win the Mountain West tournament. And the interesting thing was that they had to move up the tournament a week because of a convention in Las Vegas with construction workers. So the tournament was supposed to be the week where all the things got canceled, as you saw through all the other sports. But the Mountain West got lucky and moved their tournament up a week for a reason that had nothing to do with the coronavirus. They finished theirs. Boise State women's basketball beat for the fourth straight West tournament for fourth straight. This is a historic class of Boise State players, especially a senior class. They had 5 contributors on this year's team. And the thing was, the one thing they hadn't accomplished was winning an NCAA tournament game. So that was what they were so fired up. Yeah, they were so fired up for a chance to do it. And then, on that Wednesday, March 11th, or maybe it was March 12th, when it was announced that the NCAA was taking away the tournament, that hit them pretty hard. And
we lost you for
social media pages.
We lost you for just a second. Who did they beat Mountain West?
Fresno State.
Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure we clarified that. Congrats to them for being able to get that in there.
Definitely congratulations to the Boise State women's basketball.
Yeah, before having this
big accomplishment there, especially going to the NCAA. What is it, 3 out of 4 years now?
It's 4 straight and 5 out of 6.
Wow.
5 out of 6.
Nice.
Yeah. That's domination right there.
So overall, I mean, so they had that. They can ride that wave, something really positive at the end of the season like that. So now, are they just kind of settling in? Wait, like everyone else, we just wait for things to open back up, stay on academics.
Yeah, we're not having a tournament, so that's out of reach for them. So it's just a matter of what they were going to do for the rest of their semester, the seniors, getting ready for real-world jobs, which I can only imagine being a college senior right now looking for real-world jobs, right?
Well, you got to have 15 years experience right out the gate, right? Some of those jobs are the best.
Right now, people who have the 15 years of experience didn't let go of their jobs. So, trying to be a college senior looking for work right now is just a disaster, I would imagine. But some of those players had jobs lined up prior to graduation, so hopefully that's still in the cards for a lot of them. And then the people who are underclassmen are doing the same thing where they're preparing for the next year. But the thing is, the buildings are closed, so they can't come into the facility and lift weights in the way that they might have before. They have to do a lot of individual work, and I know coaches are using platforms like Zoom, the way we're talking right now, to communicate with teams and players. And it's not easy.
That's something because we were going to go to Vegas next month for the draft. And we were so excited because we got tickets to it. And this is all prior to this. And, been watching Packers since got 85. So I'm not even going to age myself, but just say it. And we were going to go to an NFL draft. And we were so excited. Everything's lined up. And it was finally being done someplace that we could go visit, and they're still going to go with it, but they're not going to let anybody in there. And it's because I'm assuming that monetarily they don't want to take the hit. Schools are going to have to take the hit. And if you had to put a guess, do you think there's a return to sports in 2020, or are we just going to look at we get into spring of next year and see where we're at?
This is a tough one because the medical experts don't even know. I mean, I could take a guess based on the things I've seen on those news channels, but I would hope that we get a fall. My whole thing is if we have to compromise, maybe without fans. But then I've always been one of the ones where it's like, all right, two things. Number one, sports without fans is just odd. It's
weird. It's probably more scary to do that.
Unnatural. Yeah, it's unnatural. And then number two, if we're not safe enough to still have crowds, right, then what are we really doing playing sports? Because
Al made that point earlier. He's like, how are you going to put people on the field or on the court?
You're going to put people, and then are you going to keep them in a bubble? You're not going to let them interact with their family, but you want to quarantine their family. You want to stop their family from seeing other people.
You'd have to medically clean the locker rooms.
You have to really have this under control.
Yeah.
And I don't think, the whole without fans, if you have to do something without fans, then you really don't have it under control. So that would be where I'm at on that is.
Yeah, fair call.
I would kind of wait until you really have everything ready to go. You can have crowds, and you can really accelerate society to act like we would otherwise, except with an increased washing of the hands and cleaning of the surfaces and hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
But I would wait until you can actually safely have crowds.
Like you did before.
Try to restart sports.
Getting a cold hot dog, warm beer at stadium, summer sun. And that's something that lately, UFC, Dana White has talked about. They're going to have their next event, I believe, no crowd possibly. It just so you're going to literally go.
They already have an event without a crowd. I
think they did, and the big one that was coming up, I think it's 249 or something like that, and they were just saying how I didn't hear many people say it's just like a street fight. You just it's quiet. You go in. I mean, how do you get pumped? I mean, if anybody remembers,
so they have a walk-in song. And
well, that's what I mean. They're nobody's there, right? You got two guys going, woo! Right? I just don't see how you can get the energy, even if you're NBA or anything. Played it. I mean, it's just, are you playing you're just playing like a scrimmage? I mean, you got to get into the game, right? The crowd's part of it.
We're doing playoff games with no crowd. I
don't
know how would that work? Giannis be
I don't think it
I'm
would.
out here flexing on people, and I'm looking for that crowd. Joel Embiid, I'm a Sixers fan. Joel Embiid is my dude, and his natural go-to when he gets a big basket is to call for the crowd to give that applause.
And you turn around and there's just a guy going by sweeping. Nothing.
The hand sanitizer guy is excited about this.
Now wash your hands.
Right. Well, how has this actually affected you personally? And I mean, both professionally and personally.
everybody's adjusting. I'm staying at home more.
Like right now.
Try not to go outside. Right now, I'm outside fishing. I never really fish, so that's kind of something that's new. But
I even joke that might be the only sport that they can actually televise is you got a guy in a boat by himself fishing and a guy in a boat 12 feet away recording it like they do. We might all become angling fans or fishing with bass tournament fans.
That's why I'm getting my reps in now, so I
there
can
you
actually
go.
talk about this with some credibility.
We just got to find out who's the big guy in the fishing league, right?
Right.
So you're working from home? Are you still staying busy?
I'm not working from home yet. The thing is, the radio station, the one I work at, the way the board is wired, one of the hosts on our 2-person show has to be in the studio.
Okay.
The other person could be away. So right now, my co-host is the one who's doing it from home. I'm in actually walking distance of the station. I just moved to a place that's downtown in Boise, so I'm
rock, paper, scissors. Who goes in?
It was. I didn't get a say. Put it that way. It wasn't a rock, paper, scissors. I probably would have lost. I'm somehow really bad at rock, paper, scissors.
That could be the next sport. Well, no, that takes human contact. Close. Yeah, too close. Yeah, never mind. 12 feet away.
You played over Zoom though. Get your cameras out.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
Rock, paper, scissors over Zoom.
I mean, there is a world championship rock, paper, scissors league. I didn't know that until last year. Yeah.
Somebody
did you? Okay.
Philadelphia won that. Somebody.
Representing Philly.
Championship is something. Rock, paper, scissors.
I can imagine looking at my. I don't have a trophy case, but if that was in there, that's something. That's a conversation starter.
That's on ESPN 8.
ESPN right? On the Ocho. It's on the Ocho, dude. It's like at 3 in the morning, right after.
They're re-airing all their Ocho programming these days. They have to.
There's no sports going on right now. Which kind of leads me to, even though that the NCAA tournament was canceled themselves, and seeing as how well that Boise, the women's basketball did, how do you think they would have actually done in the tournament? What do you think they would have placed?
It's funny because this year they did not have as great of a non-conference as they wanted to. They scheduled tougher than they had in previous years and suffered some L's. So I don't think their seeding would be drastically better than it has been. Like the year before, it was a 13 seed. I think they're around a 13 seed again this year, which meant that if you're familiar with the way the women's tournament works, 13s and below, they have to play 2 road games in the first round. They're facing a top 4 seed. A 12 and better, they get a neutral site first round game. Top 4 seeds, of course, host.
I did not know that.
It would have been probably a true road game, which makes it really tough. But they were so close last year to beating Oregon State in Corvallis. They were basically 30 seconds away from doing that. So I think they would have learned from that and given that team, whoever they faced, who was a 4 seed or maybe a 3 seed, I think they would have given them a great game and it would have been close. And the Broncos would have had a chance to win it if they would have executed. But unfortunately,
road wins are hard to come by.
Yeah, I just say they won in my own mind, and
there you go.
Can prove me wrong.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, we're all speculating here, so I think they would have taken.
I like speculation in a time of unknowns. I'm just gonna say it.
Right. So,
indeed.
Is there any players that maybe we should be watching out for that maybe going into the draft, it could be make a big name for themselves, anything like that that's going on?
Yeah, for women's basketball, the highest level has the players who are in the WNBA. The WNBA doesn't have that many teams, so the pool doesn't go too deep. You know how the NBA has 30 teams. The WNBA, I believe, has half of that, even at the most. So the talent doesn't run that deep, where basically all the players who are high profile and get drafted like that come from the Power 5 schools.
Gotcha. Okay. But so it's still a fun season though, in UConn.
Not a Power 5 yet, right?
In the past, but now not really. Yeah.
So, that's where they usually come from.
Okay, fair enough. But they saw a great season, I think. From taking something home.
Yeah, great season. Oh, no doubt. Awesome season.
Well, Chris, we want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us a little insight into the collegiate sports world and kind of what's going on with that. So where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter first, at Chris Lewis Tweet on Twitter. That's usually where I post my daily show promos and a link for you to go and listen to the show online. The Alexa app right now is your biggest friend. Get your Amazon Dot going, because if you're at home and that Amazon Dot is just stuck on a counter somewhere, You don't know. You know why?
I have one like 5 feet behind me right here. Legit. It's sitting right there.
I set it off. I said, Alexa, play 92.1 The Ticket.
There you go.
Trigger up because it can hear me. Maybe you got headphones in, so it doesn't do that. But yeah, that's a good way to listen when you're at home, because I know a lot of people might not have alarm clock radios with cell phones and whatnot, but you can go and listen on your Amazon Dot. We're still having our show from 1 to 3, talking Boise State sports. We're doing a lot of look backs right now. With classic games from the past, interviewing Broncos from the past. So we're still going strong. Nice. I know I won't have a play-by-play game for a while until we have sports come back. But when I do, I post a link on my Twitter at Chris Lewis Tweet. I'm also on Instagram at Chris Lewis Insta, which I put a lot of food videos. One of the things I like to do.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I have a lot of my food videos up on there. And I guess that's all the social media. I'm on Snapchat too, but I don't even know my Snapchat label. Nobody does Snapchat anymore.
So when you're at home, you just start practicing.
2010.
Yeah, exactly. You can stay at home and start practicing play-by-play, like one to everything show. Bowling, fishing. I mean, you just get to practice. You got to stay in it, right?
Practice doing just the people running around outside my apartment building.
There you go.
Pull ahead on the scooter. And then the bike catches up.
And a tweaker comes out of nowhere. Oh, that's great.
All right, well, thank you so much, Chris. We super are into everything that you're doing out there. And, you know, I'm a huge Broncos fan, and I know you are too, Ken. So thank you so much for joining us. And everybody, go to Twitter, follow him, like him.
Check him out.
Listen to his sportscasting, get online, do all that stuff. You got
shout out to Alexa,
right now.
Microdot, whatever.
So we
need sponsorships.
So thank you so much, Chris. You have a good day, okay?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
As always. Great job, guys.
Thanks. And guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with you.
We want to say thank you to Chris Lewis for joining our show. It was great getting an inside look at the world of sports and what it's going through in this pandemic. A quick comment though, Chris, we still have not seen a picture of the fish you caught during the interview. Make sure you post that on Twitter. And for all of you listeners, you can also find Chris on Twitter at Chris Lewis Tweet. We would love to have Chris on in the future, so to be sure to tell him how awesome he is. And another quick thank you to all of our listeners for the feedback, follows, and subscribes. We promise you that we are bringing you even more great content. But for now, let's get back to the show.
No, honestly, dude, I don't know if we're even going to see like the end of the NBA, because the NHL's already talking that we're not going to have the end of the season this year.
Yeah, sports have been technically just killed off this year.
God, it's so frustrating because I'm just so used to like falling asleep with ESPN on. I always watch Sports Center and all that shit. There ain't nothing to watch anymore.
Yep, they're going to do the virtual draft for the NFL.
Everybody in their basement drafting. That's going to be awkward.
Yep.
But hey, guys, welcome back from the break. We hope you had a chance to do whatever you need to do. Grab a snack, take a piss, yell at your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Wash your ass. Whatever. But we do have another interview coming up, which is going to be the Bob Ficarra interview in just a little bit. And then we still have the Quarantine Life Hacks and Florida Man segment. So we still got a lot of episode to go, so don't go anywhere. Ken and I were just talking about, actually, during the break, about basically what's happening with sports right now. Because as of next week, we were supposed to be in Vegas for the NFL draft.
Yes.
Which, of course, I mean, of course this has to happen at that time.
Yep. The one time we get a chance to, it's close.
It's close, and not only that, I get free tickets.
Free tickets, yeah.
It was free. And they go ahead and cancel it. And next year it's in Cleveland, and fuck going to Cleveland. I am not going to Cleveland to watch it.
Fuck Cleveland, sorry.
Yeah, anybody living in Cleveland
will probably agree with us. They'll probably agree with us, actually.
They're like, yeah, I'm trying to get out too.
I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. No, but the main thing is sports as a whole is it's not a death blow to them. They'll recover. That's the thing. They'll recover, but how long will
it take
before you can get people that are not so unnerved that they'll go into the seats? Because they're going to play. They're talking about playing seasons, like the baseball realignment. Talk about playing in just 2 states.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Yeah, so baseball is going through a realignment right now for at least this season, or they're considering it. It hasn't been official yet. But half the teams will play in Arizona at the stadiums there where they do the Spring League. And then the other half will play in Florida where they do the Spring League there, the Cactus and the
Grapefruit League.
And the Grapefruit League.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. So what would happen, I'm a huge Angels fan, as some of you may know. The Angels and the Dodgers would be in the same division. That I would love to fucking see, because Dodger fans talk so much shit about the Angels because the Angels fan base is not very big, and Dodgers have been like very tough.
That's the go-to. Yeah.
But last year we won 3 out of 4 with them, so the Freeway Series is always a tough rival.
But now it'll be division.
But now it's division. We play them even more.
But I mean but playing the game with no fans.
What the other thing is, they would have to mix up the schedule for that. Like, are they going to have a reduced number of games for baseball?
I would think so. It's
down from the 120 to, like, say, 60 or something like that? Because
they play like 162 games or something?
I'm not sure. A lot.
A lot. And then they would have to probably bring it down to under 100.
Yeah, I would think so, because they don't have enough stadiums.
Right.
They only have, 4 or 5 fields.
So, like, one game gets played, and then everyone heads out.
Maybe
and
they
then
can play at the college stadiums there. I don't know, but they would also.
Well, the college stadiums aren't being used for.
But they would also be playing with no fans.
Yes,
so
which
it's
is
just the teams
weird.
There, and it is bizarre.
And I'm not sure. For me, it's been a long time since I've gone to a live sporting event, but for the athletes, like I said, having the crowd there and the noise and the.
That's what it's all
about.
The
organ playing, the cheering at the game, and all that stuff.
They feed off the fans.
Yeah.
And the fans feed off how well the team's doing.
And if you walk out and you got the one guy that's up there sweeping seats yell, "You suck!"
You know, that the sad thing is I don't think the Redskins are going to see much of a difference.
No. They're going to be like, wow, there's nobody here. Wait, there's 4 guys. There's 4 people here. They're actually crew staff.
We only lost 1 fan.
Yeah.
One person from Calgary team.
Or the Browns fans.
Yeah, Browns fans have been filling out their stadium the last
because
2 years.
they were given a lot of hope last year. And
they did better than the Dolphins, unfortunately. So this year, the Dolphins actually might do well. I'm a huge Dolphins fan, unfortunately. I can hear the laughter right now from everybody across the world.
The pity, poor soul, for you.
Yeah, but it'll be a while till we get back to being a good team again. But the good thing is Tom Brady's out of our fucking division. Thank the Lord.
I still wish he would have went to Cleveland.
We don't even have to play him 1 time this year.
Nope.
The division really is up in the air to who's going to win.
True.
Which is nice.
It'll be like it'll be an 8-8 team that wins the division.
No, I would be willing to bet the Bills will take it this year.
I can see
the Bills
that.
Are looking fucking hot.
I think it's going to take a couple years. You'll start seeing the trickle and effect of people going to the stadiums. They may reduce costs for tickets and stuff like that to try and induce people to go, and then I think after a while we'll get back to normalcy. I'm hoping for.
And the other devastating blow to both of us is that they canceled the XFL for next season.
They're gone forever.
Yeah,
they filed for bankruptcy. It's done. It's just not their fault. Like the first time it was gimmicky and it was a joke.
Bought with errors. Yeah.
Yeah, but this time
they had it solid.
They were legit trying something different.
Yeah, and they had good reviews on it. People were loving it. But then they had to cancel the season almost just over halfway, something like that. Yeah,
because it's a 10-game season. So
and then they just financially they couldn't handle that.
Because they still paid out players by contract.
And so it just killed them. So it wasn't their fault, unfortunately, because we really wanted to see the end of it. Because go Wildcats!
Go Wildcats! And plus, we wanted to see more spring football.
Yeah, it was something in between football.
Yep.
And it gave us a little.
And so it was definitely a casualty to this whole thing. It's nobody's fault. You can't predict a pandemic or an epidemic like this. And
now you see the rise of the esports, because even on ESPN they're hosting esports. They never do that.
Yeah, and but as a gamer and stuff,
it's like NBA 2K20, and it's DeMarcus Cousins versus Chris Paul kind of thing.
And then there's iRacing, so there's the NASCAR virtual.
Oh, did you hear about that dude who just got booted?
Yeah, for dropping the N-bomb.
Is that the word you used?
Yep, he dropped the N-bomb on there.
A game.
And live with like 400 other racers or whatever the hell was on the in the thing, and it was on an unofficial track. I guess it was a track that has been used in decades in like Italy, but it was redone for the simulation. And he straight dropped the N-bomb on somebody like that, and on an open mic, and it tells you who's talking.
His career.
Oh yeah, well yeah, he's
unfortunately because we live in a cancel culture nowadays. You can't say that without getting really punished.
Yeah, I mean, there was no. He was immediately dropped. Some sponsors, I think, are still trying to work with him, but esports, that's cool and all, but I really don't want to see sports in general be taken over by esports. I don't want to watch. I play games. I'm a gamer. I don't want to watch tournaments between teams of.
I don't think
Overwatch
esports
players.
I don't think esports is going to take the place of it, though.
It'll grow. This is the potential for it to grow.
It will. It's like a shot in the arm for them, but it's not going to take over the call for real sports. You know what I mean? No.
Plus, it's going to be a much younger grouping of people who I see on Twitch and stuff who tune in to watch like teams play. There's a delay on it and stuff like that, and they'll watch these guys play competitive Overwatch or CS:GO and things like that. And I'm just it doesn't intrigue me to watch that even as a gamer. I'm okay with it, but I don't want it to. Some of those guys are making money like professional athletes are, but it's very few of those.
Very few.
Certain streamers are making very large amounts of money, but very few out of the millions of people involved in the gaming industry. Yeah. So I think football will make a comeback. Baseball courts and stuff, it will take time before you see full stadiums.
Yeah.
And even then.
So what does that do to players' paychecks?
Well, the collective bargaining agreement, I think, sets it that they still get paid. And so then it's up to the commissioners of the sports to go, so how do we entice people to come and sit in the seats now that things have cleared up? How do we monetize what we've got going on?
It'll be interesting to see how they do it. All right, well, as we said, we have another interview coming up for you, which is Bob Ficarra of Metro Entertainment. We talk everything from small businesses to how this is impacting them, to games, to comic books, and a couple of recommendations for families with kids.
Yeah, we'll have to follow up with them again too.
We will,
since we have, because things have changed again.
Unfortunately, that means I had to talk to him again. But
I liked Bob because he busts your balls, not mine.
Do we bring up the chair incident?
Well, we can bring up. I'm a big guy. You guys put me in a plastic chair on rocks and it broke. And I'm a big guy. I'm not embarrassed by that fact.
Gravity is not your friend.
No. I'm not replacing the chair if he's expecting that.
Well, I mean, it's $5, but
it costs more to ship it.
I know at this point, right? And Amazon will take 3 weeks to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go down to Lowe's and get it for $1.
Right, they're probably on sale down there.
But anyway, guys, we're going to bring you that interview.
Yeah, we'll get into that one.
As I said, it's a really great interview. And Bob is actually one of our new sponsors for Metro Entertainment. So have a good conversation with him. And be sure to check out his site. We will drop all his links in the channel in the podcast description.
Yes.
So be sure to head over there and support him. He is a small business trying to make it through.
He's been doing it 29 years. I'd hate to see...
It's a long fucking time.
Something like this, a lifetime of work like that to
end it.
Yeah, to end it because of this.
All right, so here is our interview with Bob.
I'm sure that someday along you're going to have like those fanny packs, like the utility belt.
I hope fanny packs come back. I hope we all come out of hibernation.
Hand sanitizer. The other one's got like handy wipes or whatever.
Everybody talks shit about those back in the day.
So on the line, we have Bob Ficarra. He is a small business owner in downtown Santa Barbara. He owns a comic book shop, and he also does it online. So, hey, Bob, how are we doing?
Howdy, guys. I'm great. How are you fellas?
Doing awesome.
Day 3 of the quarantine, I thought it was been a week. And then I thought it was only 24 hours. I've already lost my shit.
It's only been 3 days.
Yeah, it's only been 3 days. It seems like an eternity. I'm not even sure what's going on.
Yeah, our governor announced it 3 days ago that we are officially on lockdown.
Yeah.
I think that's what, yeah.
Idaho is a little behind the rest of the country in many things, so.
Hey, Kyle, your package of ball wipes arrived today. Do you want me to send those to you?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I smell ball sack from here, so we're only social distance about 6 feet. So please send them.
Yeah, that was my wife, Jamie. For the listeners that don't know, Jamie and I had Kyle as a tenant for way too long.
Damn, yeah, it was a long time.
And we sure miss him, though. We miss him.
Until that school opened up in the neighborhood.
So, Bob, tell us a little about yourself. What do you do, and how did you get started into the comic book industry?
Well, went to school for business management. Always wanted to own my own business. So when I was a young man, I got a job at a grocery store. Worked there for a long time. Worked my way up to assistant manager, doing all the jobs: bagger, checker, receiver, stocker.
Bagger.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Right down to so right back to the gutter. Anyway, back to me. So, boy, I sure miss you, Kyle. So eventually the opportunity.
That's a blatant lie.
Yeah, he's not right through me. So the opportunity came for me to open my own store. I had a comic collection. Always loved collecting comics. So I had the opportunity to open the store, hire a couple of friends as staff, and we were off and running. Been doing that for 29 years now.
Nice.
It's a long time to have a comic book store.
It's a long time to have any retail store. So, but I'm proud of it. I love what I'm doing. I'll be able to retire someday.
Yeah, in Mexico, hopefully, if Jimmy decides to join you or not. That's still up in the air.
Well, she may or may not, but Mexico would be good for you because we're probably going to have a guest room, and if we consider inviting you, you'll have a great time.
I've always wanted to travel down. You guys go there.
I heard that.
3 times a
big
year.
if.
I mean, we could have you grill, but then you probably won't show up. So that's a whole other story, audience.
That's a whole other story. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to talk about how I flake out or nothing.
What? Kyle flakes?
But, Bob, we have known each other for a while. And so I'm kind of aware of, how you've been doing with your comic book store. But can you tell for our listeners, what has been the impact on the small business community with the virus and the shutdown and everything that's going on?
Oh man, well, especially here in Santa Barbara, it's been really devastating. I mean, most of the stores are non-essential to small businesses, so they've been forced to shut down or go back to skeleton crew and just offer something like curbside service or to-go orders. State Street, which is Santa Barbara's main street, it's just a ghost town. It's terrible. There's hardly anything open. Just a few coffee shops offering only to-go orders, a random restaurant, but.
That's always a busy street.
Yeah, it's really busy. Yeah, that's the hub of Santa Barbara. All the tasting rooms are closed, which is really devastating.
What?
Nobody told me this bullshit.
I have some friends who own coffee shops and restaurants, and they're telling me, even if they're staying open, business is down 90 to 95%. They're basically losing money as they stay open, but it's an opportunity to keep some of their staff on. So, they're doing the best they can and trying to, keep as many of their staff employed for as long as possible.
Yeah, it seems really like this is it's crushing small businesses, and even multinational conglomerates are having a hard time with all this stuff. So in that regards, have you been offered any kind of government help? Has anybody kind of reached out to you, whether it be government or a private entity, in trying to help you maintain, maybe paying your employees? Or
so part of the stimulus bill is what, $350 billion in small business aid. How do you go about something like that?
Yeah, that is a good question. No one has reached out to me. I know a couple of government officials. I know the city administrator. I know the mayor. So I kind of reached out to them to see what's going on. They really have no firm info. Talked to my bank. Nobody really knows what's going on yet. And I really have little faith in the government that's going to reach out to me. So I just think the businesses that are lucky enough to get some of this help are going to have to jump through a lot of hoops, do a lot of digging, do a lot of red tape. But, that's kind of how government works usually. So I'm not expecting or hoping for any help. If it comes, I'll be certainly happy to get it. But, we're doing okay right now. We have some really great customers that have been calling in for gift certificates, things like that, and we offer mail and delivery only. So they've been, putting some dollars in the till. And I'm not sure if I'll be getting any help, or I really don't expect any. So we're just going to have to plan that we're not going to get it.
That may be the best way to look at it.
So
if it comes, it's great, but without any ties to it.
Right. Supposedly in the plan, there's a way for businesses to get loans and keep with the stipend to keep your staff on, and then after X amount of time, the loan will be forgiven as long as you keep all your staff on the payroll, which I think is a fantastic way to help. So I hope we see that in the next few weeks.
And that was actually one of the gentlemen we interviewed earlier, the
economic planner for
the city of Twin Falls actually mentioned that, because we asked him about how that's going to work, and he said that it'd be the only penalty for businesses is if they don't spend it in business related issues. So don't hold and hoard the cash as it's handed out, I guess is what he was saying. And that's happened before.
I mean, that's a totally fair point to put. I mean, it wouldn't be right or smart or fair for somebody just to hoard the money, a no interest loan or a low interest loan. I mean,
right.
I mean, whatever you think about the help we're going to get, and if it's enough or whatever, I mean, that help you should take advantage of and do the right thing with.
Right. Because there may not be a second turn or another round of it.
And who knows how long this is going to go on?
Yeah, I'm thinking into the summer pass. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. We're just going to hide in the basement.
Pessimistic. I'm more optimistic. I'm hoping within a month that we can actually start gradually reopening things, people get back to work. But it's a very fluid situation, and things are always changing.
I just miss Mexican restaurant eating.
I mean, not only the employers like me feel bad about not being able to pay your staff right now. Some of those staff are going to have to go out and get jobs just to keep going. So I mean, if you're a business owner and you have really great, well-trained employees, you might end up losing some of them because they just have to go find work. It's just a reality.
Right.
We had talked about that earlier, and I know the positive or the counter to that is what Nate had said is there's going to be a workforce that's available that maybe everything from construction and stuff that they didn't have before. There's limitations up here, like on how many people could drywall, but now somebody's going to be like, I'm out of work, I'll learn how to drywall. And like you said, and then they find out something new, and then unfortunately you may lose well-trained long-term staff. And then that turns into turnover with new guys and stuff. So.
Right. Well, and plus, what's a business climate going to be like, once everybody's open again? I mean, there'd be a lot of people who haven't worked for a while, so they're probably not going to have a lot of extra spending money.
Exactly.
My opinion is I think we just shut down the entire country for like 3 weeks. Just like it has to be just an absolute essential business, firemen, police, whatever else.
Broadcasters.
Right?
Podcasters. Whatever.
Can't do without them, especially good-looking bald ones. I mean, man.
I got my hair, Bob.
I know. I'm not talking about you. Kyle's mom said bald is beautiful, but she was lying.
Yeah, I'm just taller than my hairline.
I'm talking to her right now. Hold on. Well, and then with that, I mean, I think it's going to actually come to that point where it's going to be a shutdown because they're already talking about quarantines of hotspots. That's the kind of talk that goes with a blanket policy. Because if you can't manage just the hotspots from which everyone's pointing the finger at the East Coast.
Right. Okay. New Jersey.
But the county above us, if you look at the infection rate of Blaine County, which is above us, and this is what do you call it? I forgot the name of it. Sun Valley. There you go. It's all the famous people there. Bruce Willis, all them. They start flying in and out. That place has a higher percentage of infection rate than the city of New York, just based on the population.
Yeah.
It just shows you. So, like you said, we were way late on this game.
I think if we just shut down the entire country for like 3 weeks, so we're going to know who's got it. We're going to know who doesn't have it. No one's really going to spread it, but we really get serious about it.
There you go.
And then after 3 weeks, we can slowly start to get back to normal, kind of like doing the social distancing and the hand washing and the sanitizer, just nonstop. But we'll have a handle on what's out there and what's not out there.
Hell of a lot better idea than we do now.
Right. Yeah. And then we can then everybody can get back to, normalcy, a little bit at a time, just slowly. So, but just as kind of drips and drabs, and we're going to do a little bit here, a little bit there. I mean, it's going to go everywhere. I mean, people from New York are going to Florida.
So, that's a big thing. Yeah, they're still flying to travel into Florida, thinking the heat's going to kill it.
Right, and they're thinking that, and they're asking the people from New York to do self-quarantine for 14 days. Do people going to do that? No. And who's going to enforce it? I mean, who's going to go round out and find who's doing it or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's like LA and the city of 18.5 million people.
Everybody stay home.
You don't have enough.
Nobody robbing, nobody stealing, nobody going to. Yeah.
Self-quarantine. What are you going to do? Ticket them? Jail them? Like, you're really relying on people to be self-conscious as well as being responsible enough to follow that. But we all know that don't happen.
Oh, yeah. We've seen the hubris of this country as it is, the ego involved. Don't tell me what to do. Right? Grown-ass man.
Right. I mean, I don't want government telling me what to do or writing me tickets for being outside. But, I mean, it's just common sense. And hopefully it just, just your friends or guilt you into, doing the right thing. Like a buddy of mine was supposed to have a big party tonight, and he called it off. So
smart.
Yeah, I just think, people should get a little bit serious about this.
That's what we were just saying earlier at the beginning of the show. If you haven't taken it serious, you really need to. And then I took a crack at essential oils, I'm pretty sure.
No, we definitely did.
We did. So,
but, being in California, with us here in Idaho, we assume that it's a lot alike when it comes to the lockdown, what people are doing, what people are not doing. How has the community responded to this? Are people kind of banding together and saying, let's try to support the local businesses, keep them afloat, especially when it comes to such as restaurants? Let's go and order order takeout from this restaurant because it's a great restaurant, it's family owned, whatever.
Been going there for
years.
You're
seeing a lot of people helping people in this kind of situation.
Oh yeah, there's people are going out of their way to advertise and promote businesses that are doing takeout. People are doing the right thing. For mostly, I mean, you see, lines at the grocery store. They're only letting a certain amount of people in at one time. They're spacing everybody out. I have seen, kids playing 5-on-5 basketball still just, yesterday, which is disappointing. You figure the kids might not know better, but the parents should. But yeah, in general,
absolutely.
I mean, I don't see much of the community, honestly, because I'm here just at home, or I go straight to the store, which is not open. It's just me in there. But from, different message boards and things like that, yeah, we have a great community and people are really trying to help each other. And I think for the most part, people are taking it serious. Because we have a fair amount of older folk here, even older than me. So I think people are trying to be careful and respect that.
You just touched on, you said you saw kids playing basketball, 5-on-5, and it's hard for parents to be able to describe this to their kids, what's going on, the severity of it, the gravity of this situation. And, because kids want to go outside, they want to play, they don't want that restriction, they just don't get it. They can't understand, why it's so important that you can't go and do that. So during a time like this, this is a great time to read comic books, get into comic books, get into board games, get into card games, get into that kind of stuff. So what can you recommend for, families with small children or even, younger children, maybe teenagers, stuff like that, to kind of battle out this time of quarantine?
Well, I mean, there's lots of great mail order services. And, we do mail order here at my shop, Metro Entertainment. I mean, kids have got a lot of time to fill right now. So comics are great. When I was a kid, I loved comics as an adult. I still love comics. They're great for the imagination. When I was a young guy, it was a great way for me to learn words I might not understand. I try to figure it out in the sentence they were in, or I go look it up, or I'd ask my mom or dad. But really helped me with my reading. It's great for your imagination. There's comics for all ages. Oh, totally. Especially now. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great escape for kids. Yeah.
The main companies, Marvel, DC make them. Some of the independent publishers like Image, which are probably geared toward older readers, which are also fantastic. So yeah, I'd either, if your local comic shop has got a website, I'd definitely, check it out and see what they have to offer. Most stores are really great. If you want to call them, they can offer recommendations for, how old your child is, if it's a boy or a girl. So definitely, especially right now, it's really the golden age of comics. There's really something for everybody.
Yeah. And it's not just that too. It's like fantasy board games, or Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, whatever your thing may be, for kids, that's a great escape too.
The collectibles.
Yeah, you could do that, and then you can get into the video games or whatever that leads to, or Monopoly with different kinds of themes. You got superhero, Marvel, Monopoly board game, whatever it may be. The action figures. And I know your company offers a lot of that stuff.
We do, yeah. Even before this pandemic, families and people and young adults are really looking to get away from the computer a little bit and enjoy company, enjoy family time. So games sales were probably at an all-time high. I mean, it's just
that's awesome to hear, though.
People really looking to reconnect. I mean, video games are great and fantastic. I enjoy them. But there's also a time to go back and talk to somebody over the phone, not by chat, not by text. It's great to visit.
I almost said it in person, but that's terrible advice right now.
Yeah.
If you haven't talked to somebody in a long time, reach out to them by going to their house. Just show up.
And they'll love you for bringing bottles of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I bring gifts. Hand sanitizer, antibiotics.
Talk to the window. Talk to the window.
Yeah, just like Bubble Boy.
So speaking of the comic books, is there any new great series that somebody who's trying to get into comic books?
What's a good starting arc?
Good launching platform to get them started on. Maybe a good series that just came out that's easy to read, kind of not convoluted storyline, but it's just kind of straightforward.
Right. Well, some that just started that I really like there's two titles. One, and they're both by the same writer. Robert Hickman is first of all, he's writing X-Men for Marvel. Marvel just relaunched X-Men just a couple of months ago, started with a new #1, new team. X-Men kind of had a lot of different series and there are a lot of characters, so they finally kind of streamlined it, narrowed it down, just got down to the base X-Men characters. So people are really digging it because it's kind of bringing them back to what the X-Men used to be before. There was just hundreds and hundreds of characters, and it just got too confusing and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So, and by the same writer is also by Image Comics with the independent publisher called Decorum. I mean, if you want something that's really well written, really well drawn, and just kind of a heady, crazy experience, I mean, it's really different. So I think people will really dig it and really be surprised if that's a comic. I mean, it's kind of watching, oh man, what's that? I'm not thinking of the movie, but anyway, it's like watching a really sophisticated adult movie. So I think a lot of people don't really realize that comics are more than just Batman and Superman and Wolverine. So
and that's unfortunate because of saturation of comic book movies. I mean, there's a saturation of them over the last decade. That's kids' references to it, like that's what they know about the history of it, and the paper or the copies of it. I mean,
right?
So yeah, I that's how I started years ago, and kids, I think they'll be surprised. Like you said, there's other characters. There's even fans of Aquaman out there. That's right.
There's more fans of Jason Momoa than there are of Aquaman.
That's true. That's the problem with it. Yeah, that's right.
Including Kyle.
I raised my hand. I mean, that Super Bowl commercial was epic with him. It was hilarious.
That was pretty good.
I didn't like the Aquaman movie. I thought it was meant. They made it overly bright in color and saturation and CGI. And it was just. Again,
so a DC movie,
but that's what I'm saying. They have a chance to get away from that.
Yeah,
DC has a chance to get away from that. They had the dark and gloomy down, and then they decided whatever they decided with that shit.
So,
it just comes down to good storytelling and good writing, and it didn't really have either of those. So
no, it was just acting. They tried to pack it with something like, what?
Saturated.
Yeah,
it's just
And I can't do another origin story. I don't want another Spider-Man origins movie. We know Uncle Ben dies. We know what. I think they rebooted that 3 times now, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
at least this is the third one now. And he's even in limbo now for his next one. He's still in limbo whether or not he's part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll get back to it as soon as this is over. I mean, there's just too much money involved.
Oh yeah, but it's about the rights. That's why when they were doing the deal, they can't even say whether that Spider-Man's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It says.
So, are you a Marvel or DC fan?
Yeah.
Well, I like both, but I've always been more of a Marvel fan than DC.
All right.
Okay, fair enough. For me, over the years, it switched with whatever story arc was doing better.
Right. I mean, you don't have to be only a Marvel fan or a DC fan. I mean, I like whatever's well written and well drawn, or whether it's a good movie or TV show. But the
early '90s were terrible for DC at the time. Great for Marvel, and then it kind of flipped.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked the Fantastic Four when I was a kid. I mean, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, just classic stories, really great. I mean, they were like a family. You know, I had kind of a dysfunctional family, and so were they. So I did honestly kind of relate to that a little bit.
Nice. Besides the superpower thing, but you know.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. What is your favorite superhero movie?
Yeah, what is
my favorite superhero movie? Oh boy,
comic book oriented movie.
If there's only one superhero movie you could ever watch again,
Ghost Rider.
Which one would it go? Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Hey, Ghost Rider had some great scenes. The scene of the motorcycle going up the skyscraper.
Straight out of comics. That kind of stuff straight out of comics. The guy would ride around and just burn a track of destruction through the whole city.
Right.
Yeah.
And him and the old Ghost Rider riding off when they were both lit up, and him on his flaming horse. I mean,
well, Sam Elliott nailed it. Nicolas Cage.
Well,
but if you had to pick one, if you're stuck on an island, you had one movie to watch.
Probably Batman: Dark Knight.
There you go.
I mean, that's just. I mean, every scene just leads to the next. I mean, it's almost a perfect movie.
Yeah, I was actually going back and watching Batman Begins. I forgot how good that was.
Really is.
It actually I can get past the origin stuff. I'm so over. I don't know. It's just I don't want to waste half of my movie with that. You know what I mean? But so the rest of the part was great, and I realized that it's just fast forward. But yeah, the Dark Knight, amazing.
I don't know. I mean, it's their close seconds. Like I really loved Iron Man. I really loved Winter Soldier, Civil War.
I just wish they would have stuck with Civil War, but they couldn't because of Spider-Man's rights and all that stuff at the time. The legit old school Civil War that started, Wolverine and all that stuff. That I mean, there were so many offshoots to it. And they just kind of did that. Which I mean, there's a great scene in Civil War when Iron Man fires and hits Captain America's shield. That's actually cover. That's a cover. That's an issue.
Oh, it is.
That was yeah. If you look back at it, that's a great scene from there. They did it right out of the book, right off the cover.
Yeah. You know, I mean, if you've seen Logan, I mean, Logan was a fantastic Wolverine movie.
God,
yes. But I really wish it would have done Old Man Logan.
Thank you.
The graphic novel.
That was for a while.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time. Old Man Logan's a great storyline. And it includes, you got Mysterio as part of it. All these characters that they're introducing now, they could have done that Old Man Logan storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, yeah, it would have been, I think it would that would have been the perfect movie. I mean, it's well written. It's super funny. It's got Hawkeye. It's got super villains that took over America. I mean,
the Hulk's on the West Coast, and they're like these weird hillbilly cousins and shit. Yeah. And it was great. It was such an offshoot and weird storyline. And I still think watching it in black and white, though, the Logan movie, if you haven't done that yet, when you buy it like on Blu-ray, so there's a black and white noir version of it. If you get a chance to watch that, it's amazing.
So I can see, Bob, that you're drinking wine. So you're doing you're doing a little day drinking. You can't really call that a hobby. That's called alcoholism, and I know all about it. But what have you taken up any new hobbies during all this quarantine time that you've had?
I've taken up stressing. Stressing is a big now.
That's a good one. That's a good weight loss program. I hear.
Put it in. I've taken up eating, randomly and excessively. No, I haven't really taken up any new hobbies. Although you'll be sorry to hear, or maybe not sorry to hear, that I do spend every day out by the pool relaxing in the sunshine.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures, and I hate you for it because it's like cold and shitty here right now.
No. The last couple, when they first initially told us to go home, the weather was the thing about Idaho is you can start sunny and clear in the morning, and then at noon it'll snow, and then it'll rain, and it'll be back like hot again. It's weird.
That's crazy.
Like half the city will have snow, and then you go to the other side of the city and there's nothing. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I don't know any snowy day, just go to the other part of the city and you're good.
Pretty much, yeah. Or just wait, they say 5 minutes and it'll change.
Yeah, no real new hobbies. As a business owner, I'm trying to figure out how to stay in business and pay some employees and, find out what loans are out there or anything else and I'm trying to get all caught up with my paperwork and everything else that I've, being a sole proprietor, I'm very behind in paperwork. So it's a good chance to get caught up with that, even though I'm stressing too much to get much done. But oh well.
Yeah, understandable.
I'll get to it.
Well, thank you, Bob, so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It was a great kind of talk that we had with some really good insight to a small business owner and maybe some good advice for those out there, either with small businesses or even just people struggling with what's going on right now, people with families and kids. Bob is a great resource for you. So how can people reach you, Bob?
We're at the store every day, even though we're closed. So you can reach us at www.metro-entertainment.com, or our email address is metro, M-E-T-R-O, comics, C-O-M-I-X, at AOL.com. Old school.
Oh, I was about to ask you if you're still on dial-up or you got them discs. Free LL disc with a comic.
We can also find you on Facebook, right?
If they look real hard,
Metro
yes, they
Entertainment.
can. I'm at Metro Entertainment or Metro Comics, Games, and Toys. Yep.
There you go.
All right, sir. Well, best of luck with all of it, and
definitely keep us updated on what's been going on. And thank you again for taking the time out of your stressful day of sitting by the pool and drinking wine to have a chat with us.
I appreciate talking, guys. That was fun.
All right. We'll do it again, hopefully.
Thanks, guys. All right. And for our listeners, we're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back with more immature jokes and whatever else we decide to put on here.
Do what we want.
All right.
A special thank you to the human being known as Bob, who's also a terrific sponsor of the show. Bob has been a staple in the entertainment community for nearly 30 years, and this pandemic has had a big impact on his business. We appreciate him coming on and giving us a look at how a business is handling this setback, as well as providing us with some great recommendations for comics and games. Be sure to like and follow his Facebook, Metro Entertainment, as well as visit his website at metro-entertainment.com. That's metro-entertainment.com for some awesome comics, toys, and games. Mention adulting is hard when ordering. You can also send him an email with any questions at metrocomics@aol.com, and that's comics with an X. Metrocomics with an X at AOL.com. Go show him some love. And now, back to the podcast. Guys, welcome back from the break. I hope you enjoyed that interview that we just had with Bob. Great discussion with him. It was fun talking with him, and hope you had time to go grab another snack or whatever you got to do if you're driving to stop out and get gas, whatever you got to do. But
wash your hands.
Always wash your hands. You say that every time. It's very important.
It's the only thing I can say besides stay the fuck home.
Stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah, stay away from me. Pretty much.
But we are on to our final kind of 2 segments that we have left for you today. Our first one being the Quarantine Life Hacks, which is our special edition of the Life Hacks. It's for all you folks who are locked up at home and can't get out. We have some special tips that will get you through. And then we're going to follow up with...
Or injure you. But remember the disclaimer.
Make sure you listen to that disclaimer because it's got all the information you will ever need in there.
Not responsible for,
especially legality wise.
Yeah, we have no legal departments. Again, don't try.
Exactly. And then we're going to finish off, of course, with the Florida Man segment with 2 articles, one with the Florida woman and one with the Florida man, which are fucking gold. Once again, as we all know, Florida is ripe with these articles of.
We may have to switch it up one of these days and catch them off guard with an Oklahoma man or something. I mean, other states do stupid shit, but it's got to be good.
Yeah,
it's got to be really good. I mean, Florida's, it's like every day people wake up and like, how can I get in the news? Like literally, as they're doing their bath salts, right? What can we do today?
15 seconds of fame. Yeah, right? That's what it all takes.
Right, but if we get a good one out of another state, or if you send us a good one from another state, we may switch it up a little bit there.
Yeah, so let us know if you see any other good articles that we can bring up and in place. We just might feature that article, and we'll give you credit too for finding it, because that's more work than I want to do.
Yeah, we'll give you credit, but no money.
I thought that was just.
I'm just saying. We blew our budget for the year, and we're in what, April?
Blew it like a 25-year-old version with a $5 whore.
Yeah, even with sponsors, we got to stop spending.
I know our sponsors need to send us a bigger paycheck. Yeah, we're calling you out right now. God, I hope they don't drop us for saying that.
Yeah, we need more money.
But anyway, yeah, we do know that adulting is hard. So again, we're going to bring you a special edition life hacks. You guys asked for it, so we are bringing it to you. So this is for all the people who are locked up, can't go anywhere, and are stuck inside of their house. We bring you some great tips that you can do yourself and see
to yourself,
yeah, and see some great results. But first, of course, here's a quick little disclaimer. All right, so let's get started with number 10. Number 10 of the quarantine life hacks. Did you know that if you bang your head up against a wall, you can burn 150 calories an hour? Think about that.
Sounds efficient.
There's your exercise regimen right there.
Right there, yeah. And the concussion that comes with it will allow you to forget all the bad shit that's going on right now.
It'll allow you to forget to eat.
Yeah, actually, you might end up with dementia by the end of that, and you'll be in a whole other place.
You got other things to worry about rather than the quarantine.
Yeah,
but,
like TBI. Okay, so next one we got here. One thing I hate, and I don't think anybody likes dishes. So if you have dirty dishes in the sink, just print out a picture of clean, empty sink and put it over the top.
Nobody can tell the difference. Make sure you do have color ink in your printer before you print, because a black and white sink
gives it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if somebody uncovers and finds out, like they go and they look, then it's on them to clean the dishes. Tell them not it. Remember that game? Not it.
Noses.
Yep, noses.
Yep,
if they go, hey, I see you did that. Yep, you're responsible for them now.
Yeah, you uncovered it. It's like whoever smelt it dealt it kind of thing. You saw the dirty dishes. Why didn't you clean it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I did. I put something over it so you wouldn't see it. And now that you've seen it, now it's your turn.
I bought myself at least 3 days. Now that you found it, it's your responsibility.
Oh God, what's that stink? I mean, it can't be from the sink. It's empty.
It's clean. It's absolutely empty.
Here's a idea. If you're going to Walmart, and you have to wear a mask, quarantine says you got to wear a mask and gloves or whatever, and somebody cuts you off in line or pisses you off like that bitch from Walmart the last time.
Carol Baskins? Oh, no, it's a different one.
If you're wearing a mask, you can cuss them out under your breath, and they would never know.
Yep. It just sounds like you're talking to yourself or reading your grocery list, and you could.
And they ask you, what? No, I didn't say
I was talking to you.
That was the guy behind me.
Fuck off, 6 feet.
If you can hear me talking under my breath, you're too close.
Exactly. Yeah. If exactly. Fuck off, 6 feet in that direction. So if the line at Walmart is too long, or we just pick on Walmart, any store, just cough into your hand and say, you know what? I just haven't felt that great since I got off that cruise.
Especially if you say like that cruise to China.
Yeah, that cruise. That cruise. Do you do cruises to China?
Well, maybe not.
Yeah, so just a cruise anywhere. Just haven't felt that great, and just cough and then mention, and maybe even mentioned, I may have shit myself, but this line's been here forever. I'm not leaving.
Watch how quickly they scatter.
Yeah.
It's like turning the light bulb on. Watching the
those little spots they have you stand at. Mm-hmm. Good thing that the virus can't go in other directions. Right? I've noticed that, like, they got the square boxes.
If you were 5.5 feet away, they're getting the virus.
Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, evidently the virus can't go like parallel or anything. It's just straight ahead. So okay.
All right. So number 6, if you're finding yourself falling asleep throughout the day because you just don't have work to tend to and you're just bored, and you were like me, you wear contacts, just try dipping them in coffee.
Yep.
That's straight absorption right into the eye of the caffeine, and
maybe a small burn.
It might be a small burn, but it is so worth it. It'll wake you up.
Yeah, this is if you can't get a hold of your drug dealer and he's afraid to go out.
I wonder how drug dealers are dealing with this. If they see an uptick in their sales, or
that's a good question. I wonder. I'll have to ask mine. I mean, I'll have to. Are you seeing an increase in sales, or are you braving the roads? Are you calling? Do you have an essential badge? Like a fake one? I work at the hospital. Essential. Okay, we'll go through, sir. You're okay. I sell pharmaceuticals. I don't know.
I mean, whoever your drug deal may be.
Yeah.
Might be a pharmaceutical.
I mean, the states with legalized weed, they're open.
What, the
weed shops? Yeah.
Are they really?
I believe so.
Anybody from a legal state, because it's still illegal here, but anybody from a legal state, let us know. That's interesting. I
want to say that they're considered essential because they didn't close down liquor stores.
Well, I guess it's pain management for like medical use. So I wonder if recreational's closed down.
Yep. If anybody knows out there, let us know because we don't know shit.
Yeah, we know nothing here.
All right, so being at home, maybe you're lonely, maybe nobody likes you. You want to get a date, so you're going to go to Tinder, Grindr, whatever the hell you're going to use. But when using one of those, what's that?
No judgment.
No judgment. Yeah, no judgment. When you're using one of those, just upload your photos upside down. So then they have to turn the phone the right side, or they'll turn their phone so the picture looks right side up to them. And if they swipe left on you, they're actually swiping right.
Yeah,
that should increase your chances of getting a date.
This goes for all the ugly people out there. Like me.
Yeah. So as soon as they turn the phone, they're like, "Wow, you're ugly," and they swipe the one direction. They won't realize it goes reverse against them, and then they're lining up dates.
All of a sudden, now you're married.
Yep.
You're married.
You got yourself a mail order bride or whatever.
Yeah. Just say, you look like my future ex-husband.
That's a great one. That always, yeah.
That's a great pickup.
Or you look like my ex-husband, or something. That'll work for you.
That might be a bad idea.
Yeah. You remind me of my ex-wife on the first date.
All right. So number 4, you're spending a lot of time at home, and the weather's starting to get nicer. So you're going outside and you're starting to barbecue and grill up those dogs and burgers. Well, also mosquitoes are starting to come back to life. So are you having problems with them? Is there a lot of them biting you, and you live in like the shitty South where fucking there's mosquitoes the size of dogs and cats and shit?
Small birds.
Well, here's a solution for you. When one lands and bites you, just ask it, is it in yet? That mosquito is going to lose confidence in itself, and it's going to be unable to penetrate you.
Or anybody else.
It's just,
you just crushed it.
Yeah, you ruined its whole life.
What if we find out this fucking mosquitoes spread COVID? Jesus. I just thought about that.
As long as you turn into a zombie, if it's spread by, like, what if it goes through the mosquito and the strain mutates and then it injects, or when it goes to suck
There's
your blood,
no stopping it then. If mosquito bites turn you into a zombie.
The South is done.
And again, that's where we expected it to start anyways.
Right there.
Moving on. So how about do you need new furniture? But you don't want to go out, you don't want to shop, right? Or you're broke. This one's really for the broke people. So just find a piece of furniture you like on the IKEA website, download the instruction manual, and then keep emailing the service department saying you're missing a piece. And if you do this over like the next 6 months, they'll just send you the entire set. So you start with the smaller pieces, like the little, like the shelf, and then you just keep doing it from probably different accounts.
And
pretty soon you've got
big pieces. Just say, "Oh, mine came cracked."
Yes,
or something,
or had no holes drilled in it. What am I supposed to do with this? It's just a blank piece of wood. They'll just send you all the pieces, and then you got a piece of IKEA furniture that you can't pronounce the name on. There you go. See?
And you got brand new furniture. I need to take advantage of that because I'm broke as fuck after spending all this money.
We see if we can furnish this place here with that.
With all IKEA furniture?
Yeah. That we can't pronounce. Their names on.
This is Blachtabata.
This is Horshadon. What the fuck?
I'll just take your Swedish meatballs. Thank
you. Yeah,
thank you. All right. So number 2. So we need to get outdoors more now. You need to get outdoors now, especially because it's starting to get warm outside. As we said with the barbecuing tip, it's starting to get beautiful out there. It's been in the 70s the last week. It's just been nice. And as I said earlier, I went camping, and it's great outdoors. So if you do decide to go camping and, you're barbecuing a hot dog or whatever, and all of a sudden the bear starts chasing you, all you have to do for that bear to stop chasing you is just simply fall down onto the ground and count to 5. Because after 5 seconds, that 5-second rule kicks in, and it prohibits the animal from eating you.
Nature's law.
Nature's law.
Yep.
Everybody knows what the 5-second rule is, right. And this applies to animals too.
Yes.
So all those people getting eaten on the news and shit by like mountain lions, why didn't they do this?
They were just running and flailing their arms around, and
they just
making
one thing
a scene
that could save me, the 5-second rule.
Yep.
Fuck that! I'm just gonna try to outrun a
So
bear.
if anybody tries that, let us know how it goes. Please.
from your hospital bed.
Or from home. Maybe you're safe at home. You're like, it just smelled me and it moved on.
This is a good time to mention that you should refer back to
the disclaimer. Yes.
All right, so what's number one, Ken?
Number one. So now that we know that all the gyms are closed, again, they announced today they extended it, so you can't go to the gym. It's hard to get exercise, and so your condition is going to decline, right? Cardio is going to go to shit.
Obviously.
And here's the tip: if you're having trouble breathing while running around the block or on your treadmill, just stop, sit down, and don't get up ever. And then if you'll feel the difference immediately, like you'll catch your breath again. And then to replenish your electrolytes, just smoke 7 to 10 cigarettes.
Yeah, and there you go. You're back to normal.
Yeah.
I can
vouch for this.
I can personally attest to this because
I tried exercising
anytime
once.
I start exercising, I just stop and sit down anyway.
Yep.
I mean,
and you know what? I'm breathing normal again.
Just thinking about exercise, I got to sit down and take a rest because I just get exhausted.
Yeah, I just poke fun at people running on purpose.
Yeah, and you have to make sure you keep especially when you exercise, make sure you keep your electrolyte levels high. So
just
don't forget to buy that pack of cigarettes before you do this. Because
Natural American Spirits. Just throwing that plug out there right there.
That is of utmost importance.
Or menthols. If you really want to go for it.
Some cools.
Some cools. Can I get some cool 100s? Newports. Fuck.
All right, so give those 10 a try. Let us know how they work out for you.
Especially the Tinder grinder one or whatever. Let me see. Tell us if that helped, and that would be a new hack. Just
and we personally put our name behind every single one of these. We have tried every single one of these, and we know that they work. Again, listen to that disclaimer, but they do work.
That bear did leave me alone after I was on the ground. He seemed bummed after 5 seconds.
Like, fuck, God damn it.
He just walked away and it was like a big sigh.
He remembered the rule.
It was a big sigh. He was like, And then he ate somebody else on the next side that was running around flailing their arms. So
yeah. Did you yell out 5 second rule?
I did.
Like,
but they couldn't hear me over their own screaming. So it just, yeah.
All right, guys. So we are almost to the end of our podcast, but we did not forget. We still have one more section to do. Logan, what do we have up next?
Florida Man.
You're damn right it is Florida Man.
And woman.
And this week, we have Florida Woman to go along with it because we're not sexist here at Adulting is Hard, because adulting is hard for everybody, not just men. Women have it tough too, especially with this, and you got an annoying husband that sits on the couch and yells snacks all day long. And
why are you looking at me?
Oh, that's my lazy eye. Thanks for bringing it up, asshole.
You're welcome. You looking at me or something behind me because I'm up against the wall.
So do we want to start with Florida Man or Florida Woman here?
Fuck it. Let's start with the other one.
All right. So we're just going to roll the dice. We're going to do the Florida Man. So I'll go ahead and do this one.
There you go.
So this is out of Jensen Beach, Florida. Officials say Florida man robs a Wendy's after grilling himself a burger. So this man is now my fucking spirit animal because this mother. Okay, I guess we just have to read the context.
Yeah, you got to read the context of what he did.
I'll tell you why he's my spirit animal after this. So Jensen Beach, Florida. Florida officials say they are looking for a hamburglar who broke into 2 restaurants, being Wendy's, fixed himself some food, and then stole money. The Martin County Sheriff's Office says the suspect forced his way into a Wendy's in Jensen Beach, Florida by smashing a window with a brick. He then fired up the grill, made himself a hamburger, and walked away with the store safe. He also went to another Jensen Beach restaurant where he helped himself to more food and money. Authorities say the man also tried to rob a gas station but could not break in.
Those are tough.
What, the gas station?
Yeah, gas stations are tough to break.
It's 24/7 gas stations. So,
but even if it's not, for some you watch any videos online, they throw bricks at those windows. And
so this guy had the wherewithal. So it's quarantine, and he's like, okay, fucking Wendy's is closed. They're only doing drive-through, so I know that there's going to be either short staff
and I need a triple stack Baconator.
And they close early. So this guy goes to Wendy's, who has the Baconator. That fucking burger is amazing, and he fucking fires up the grill and makes himself a burger. If that is not kick ass, I don't know what is.
Because I wouldn't know how to even fire up their grill.
No, that's exactly. So this is my theory: is that this guy used to work for Wendy's.
Yeah.
Because who's gonna know? Okay, first you got to find out where they keep the burgers. You got to know where all the sauces are and all the condiments. You got to know how to turn the grill on.
Right.
Also, did he make French fries with it?
I don't know.
It just says burger.
When they find him, I don't know if he did any side orders like chicken nuggets.
I will be so disappointed if he didn't get himself a Frosty too on top of that.
To dip your fries in.
Yes.
Yes.
She dips his fries in the Frosty.
If you haven't dipped your fries in a Frosty, you're just not living.
You haven't lived.
Yep.
And so basically this guy went to 2 separate restaurants in a single night and made himself food at both of these restaurants. This motherfucker was hungry.
Not bath salts, I don't think.
I don't know if it was bath salt. I mean, he probably ate a pound of weed and brownies.
I'm thinking he had the munchies. And then on top of that, he tried to hit that gas station, and I'm still curious how he got the safe out. I
think he just wanted the big gulp from the gas station.
He's thirsty.
Or one of those hot dogs that have probably been sitting there for 13 hours.
They do turn the soda machines off in the fast food places at night, so maybe he couldn't get anything.
Oh, so that's why he went to the gas station. That makes a lot
more
more
beer.
sense.
more alcohol, more beer.
All right, so as promised, we are bringing you a second Florida man article, but this time it's a Florida woman.
Yes.
So Ken, how about you go ahead and take us home with this one?
All right, so this one is kind of interesting. So a woman was arrested for allegedly putting Easter eggs full of porn in people's mailboxes. Now, that's kind of a misleading title because we've already kind of gone through this article. It's kind of misleading because there's many other items in there besides this. But this lady doesn't look concerned about being arrested. She probably is not very well liked in her neighborhood. Yeah, she looks a little full of herself, and she needs to get the roots colored in because she's got like this gray thing going and then all blonde.
Yeah.
Like it's been a while. I get we're in quarantine, but shit.
The gray part is the bath salts, and the bottom half is the genetics, I think.
There you go. Remember, was it 30% or 80% genetics, 30% bath salts, right?
That's about 30.
Math
about 30.
She needs to do some of the roots. All right. So one resident told police they found a plastic Easter egg in their mailbox that contained a cracker in the shape of a fish, 1 sheet of toilet paper, and porn images. Now it gets better because a Florida woman was arrested after allegedly placing Easter eggs containing all those items in there. Abril Sistoni, 42, was arrested Wednesday after she admitted to distributing the eggs and claimed she was educating people. I'm not sure. We kind of touched on this. We thought maybe it was a religious thing because of the cracker and stuff. So but we're going to get more into what's actually in there. But I don't think educating people with like pictures of dudes docking or whatever she put in there is actually educating people. So a bag of pornographic material was found inside Sistoni's car. She told deputies that she had distributed more than 400 pamphlets throughout the county over the past few days. The sheriff's office said the plastic Easter eggs also allegedly included non-threatening references to county buildings and various other items.
Whatever the fuck that's
whatever that means. Did
Why
she
are you
just
going to reference county buildings?
You're just going to be like reference the county jail because you know that's where you're going to go, right? And so the sheriff's office asked for the public's help in a Facebook post. After a caller reported finding an Easter egg in their mailbox containing a cracker in the shape of a fish, sheet of toilet paper, and a powdered drink mix, and a crumpled up piece of paper containing pornographic images.
All right, so this is my theory on it, is that on one side she could be a religious fanatic, maybe
zealot,
because you have the cracker in the shape of a fish.
Yep.
You know, in Christianity, fish represents Jesus. And then you have 1 sheet of toilet paper, which could be, wiping away your sins, or
I think you're going a little deep with that one.
Stay healthy in this.
I think she was flaunting her wealth.
Powdered drink mix. So if it was a red powdered drink mix, that could represent
the blood of Christ.
The blood of Christ,
right.
Exactly. And
but if you go up to the picture, if you go back up to the picture, it's purple. I think in that one egg. Yeah, see, it's purple. So I think she was I think she wanted people to get their electrolytes. Yeah. Flaunt her wealth with the toilet paper.
What she's wrong about is that you have to smoke 7 to 10 cigarettes.
Yes, we talked about that earlier. If you want to get your electrolytes up after exercising, smoke a half a pack of smokes.
Right. It doesn't have anything to
do
with...
If we get sponsored by a cigarette company, that would be that big. So, what were you saying? You going to say that you think she's a religious zealot?
It could have something to do with religion. But I don't get where the porn comes from.
Well, she's educating people on where to put it. And in those pictures, they could be putting it anywhere.
Or maybe she's on bath salts and she just thought it would be a good idea. Like, this is the perfect gift bag or the gift egg for somebody. It's got everything you need.
For 400 people, according to this, she made 400 of these and delivered them throughout the county.
I mean, that's pretty generous of her.
That's a lot of porn. It's a lot of porn.
It's a lot of porn.
In paper form.
So, yeah, exactly. So did she print these out, or did she go to, like, your local gas station?
She looks like she's collected it over the years.
Behind the register in the plastic sheet.
I'll take that one. I can't see what's actually on it, but the title sounds good. Right?
So, and then she's got to sit there and cut them all out.
That's what I mean.
400 images. And not only that 400, she also had more in her car. So she did more than that.
So she has, this is prior, looks like prior to the COVID-19 quarantine. So she has been planning this. This is like a
this is definitely a long-term
domestic attack of sorts on mailboxes. So she
what did the mailbox ever do to you?
Right?
Seriously.
Well, besides getting my way when I'm backing out of the driveway,
right?
A couple
only
times,
3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times. Yeah. Now we've learned to move it over 6 feet, closer to the fucking lawn. But see, our team did. They found her. And this deranged offender, I like how they put that, had taken her into custody. Thankfully, she did not appear to be sick with the COVID-19 symptoms, but she certainly needs some help. I like how they throw that in there. Thankfully, she doesn't appear to have this fucking...
She is deranged. She doesn't have COVID-19, but she definitely needs help.
Yeah, so why did you even have to put in the COVID-19? Like, nothing in this article says she was hacking, feverish.
Yeah, delirium is not linked to COVID-19.
No, that's still linked to massive use of narcotics.
I think it's just a slight at her. He's just fucking taking shots at her.
Like, but they probably did that to ease the public's... anxiety, the ones that received the eggs and then picked them up and said what's in here, and then I wonder how many of the people kept them and said, oh, this is good stuff.
But check out this last one, what she was charged with this last
11 counts of distributing obscene material. Why only 11 counts? It is not, 400 is a lot, I guess. But
maybe it made the 400 put together make up 11 magazines?
Or maybe the certain images, because certain counties and states allow like what they consider to be highly pornographic or like illegal, right? So maybe the state of Florida doesn't let certain things go, like scissoring between 2 chicks, right, or something, or whatever. And so maybe that's why they only got 11 counts. She had all the other ones were just titties and stuff. So
but the last thing was she was charged with violating Florida's stay-at-home order for travel not related to an essential activity. So.
Who's to say that wasn't essential?
Also, yeah, exactly.
Because we already seen how the Florida governor handled it. He was like the dude from Jaws. Remember the mayor? The beaches are open for the fucking giant festival, and what happened? Jaws fucking ate everybody. And then in the second movie, that guy's still the mayor. Remember that?
He didn't get it.
He got reelected after opening the beaches early and getting people.
And then Jaws comes again.
But he reopened it. So that shows you the attention span of the voters.
It also touches on this whole COVID-19 thing where they're actually prosecuting people for not staying home.
Yes.
So that's a little thing at the very end.
We'll get into that on episode 5 of that, because there's been tons of that in the last couple days of news. There's been many arrests from Australia, places like they're charging people with felonies for traveling for unnecessary. Like one guy went to go see his girlfriend, boom, got charged. So that's our Florida segment right there. And we appreciate you Floridians for bringing us such great entertainment. I know everyone's going, it's not all of us Floridians. Well,
it's at least 50%.
It's at least 50% of you guys down there are fucked up.
So you guys decide which 50% you fall into.
I'm sure every one of you down there could pick a cousin or a family member that can make a fucking article like this.
Articles, exactly.
that could be one of these people or has been one of these people. And if I upset you, at me, okay? I dare you at me.
GG, bro.
GG, okay? GG, Florida.
Yeah, right? GG, Florida.
Good job.
All right, guys. Well, we have reached the end of our podcast. We had a great interview with Chris Lewis, a great interview with Bob. We gave you some great quarantine life hacks. And now you are satisfied with a Florida man and a Florida woman article to get you through to our next episode, which should be releasing pretty soon after this one. So you're going to want to stay tuned and check that out. It's going to be another great one. We have 2 great interviews coming up on that one. So stay tuned for some details on that. But until next time, take it easy, stay safe, stay healthy out there, guys, and we will see you back.
Peace.